Good. So this solver is an easy thing, but you must know, okay? Because if it is easy and you don't know, that's bad, okay? Okay, next step is okay, solver is done, right? Next one is array formula. How do we do array transpose? Anyone use F2 Control Shift Enter in Excel yet? Yahweh? No? Jer? No? Kevin?
No.
F2, how do you do matrix inversion in Excel?
I didn't know.
You don't use Excel. Okay. Who did? Temitope? Come on, it's just sit in, you have to do it. Landry? Okay, let's talk about it. It is important that you can do matrix like operation in Excel, okay, or LibreOffice. So first, for LibreOffice, I create 3x6 matrix. Use rand, open and close parentheses, just random number, okay. Then I copy and paste again, but paste just value so that value doesn't change with when you run it, when there's any update. So basically, I try to create random number, and I try to do the transpose of that matrix. Okay, so I type transpose A1 colon C6 and press Shift Control Enter. In LibreOffice, it's Shift Control Enter. Okay, in Excel, it's F2 Control Shift Enter. A little bit different. Or I can press this button, magic function, and click in the corner, say it is array. Then it will take input as an array and give me output automatically. Okay, for Excel, you type the same thing, equal transpose A1 to A6. So I put this command or this code on the cell E1. Okay. On cell E1, I put this one in. I press enter, I get, okay, power value, some error, it is okay. Then I highlight E1 to J3 and press F2 Control Shift Enter, and then it do matrix transpose. Okay, you want me to try? I want you to try. Okay, I want you to try. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal transpose equal transpose, highlight all that, close parentheses, enter. You get that thing first, right? I hold shift to highlight your output array, okay? So when you have 2 by 3, output will be 3 by 2, right? I press F2. F2 made me go into the formula. I press Control Shift Enter. Done. Do it at home, okay? It's too easy, but you need to know. Okay, so I have this. Then I click on that cell, Control Shift Enter. It's fine. Done. Matrix transpose. So if I press, you see on the keyboard next to number 1, this thing. Okay, that sign next to number 1, left of the number 1. Okay, on top of tab. If you have control and that tilde sign, it will show you the formula. So the formula I type transpose. Okay, and I do F2 Control Shift Enter trick. So you should be able to do this. All right, no problem. Should be no problem. Okay. Next one will be multiplication. Matrix multiplication. You use MULT, M-U-L-T, and you press F2 Control Shift Enter. Matrix inversion, you use M inverse. too easy. So I have initial matrix, okay, and I have matrix inverse. This one comes from F2 control shift enter, okay. M mount, look at the formula. I have first array or first matrix and comma, second matrix, and then I press enter. It shows me the error message. Then I highlight all this cell, and then I press F2 control shift enter, the value pop up, okay. And I can check if my inverse value is correct or not. So inverse multiplied by original matrix will give me identity matrix. Identity matrix is 0 everywhere except the diagonal term. Okay. So to complete this basic programming part, we should be able to passing parameter to and from function. Okay. And you should be able to passing to the array. You have used 1D array, just a list, but when you actually do it, it's 2D, right? And we should be able to do 2D array between function and worksheet. Okay? Understand how to use for loop with 2D array. That should be in the test somewhere. Okay, let's see more example and practice by using user-defined matrix transpose and user-defined matrix multiplication. It doesn't mean that when you're actually doing it, you will make this function yourself. No, you will use the automatic function of Excel. Okay, but I tell you how to do this so that if you have something else that need matrix input, matrix output, you can do it. Okay, VBA transpose. Shape of matrix is given as B1 and B2. B1 is number of row, B2 is number of column. The first or top left value in the matrix is given in B5. That is on the Excel sheet. Okay, it's not here, but so this just explains what I do. Okay, in the Excel sheet, in cell B1, I put the number of row. In cell B2, I put the number of column. Okay. On the top left value of the matrix is given in B5. Okay. Output transpose such that it won't overlap with the given matrix value with two cell white space gap. Okay. Objective 1, subroutine to calculate transpose. Objective A, B, C, D. So I try to show you several cases how I do that. Okay. Let's start with number 1. Okay. Subroutine to calculate transpose. For number 1, that's the code. Okay. Take a look at it. We define only math, open and close parentheses, as double. So we declare array, but we don't tell the size. Okay. We say that it is array. And then we have array containing double.
Sir,
Yes.
question. Those parentheses shows that it's supposed to be an array to VBA?
Yes. Parentheses here mean it's array. Okay. And I have original matrix, ori n row as long, ori n col as long, number of row, number of column, I as long, j as long. Okay. Landry, do you want to help me to find out what is long and tell everyone next time?
I think
Please.
it's minus 224 million thereabouts. So
Many million.
yeah.
It's very long. That's it, but that's why it's long. Okay. So it's some kind of integer, but it's longer. So look at this line. Original ori n row cell 1, 2. So it takes the value of row 1, column 2, or B1 into this parameter. And then it takes the value of 2, 2, or B2 into this parameter. So now we know the size of the input matrix. Okay? And then I redeem. This time I say, okay, original matrix should have this kind of dimension. 1 to n row and 1 to n column. That's the original matrix. but the output will have, you see, I switch between this and that. So if your input is n by m, output will be m by n. It's switched, right? If your input is 2 by 3, output will be 3 by 2. So I redeem it. Then I take the value from the Excel sheet. Okay, use a for loop. So outside for loop is to loop through the row. Inside for loop is to loop through the column. So this, you see, this green thing with start with single quotation mark is remark, just to tell the programmer what I am doing. So what I'm doing right now is to read the original matrix and store into the memory. Okay, I say okay, original matrix ij equal to cell 4 plus I 1 plus j. So I can say this because I specify the top left already. The top left has to be on B5. Okay, so I need to know that top left is B5. That's how I can do this. So this is the input, and I say okay, output will output to. I didn't print it yet, but I calculate the output matrix. Outmat is parenthesis ji, okay, equal to orimat ij. So I switch between ji and ij. Once I finish this for loop, the value is calculated, but it's not printing out yet. Okay. Then I print it out. Use cell 7 plus ori n row, comma 1 equal to output. Then I use the for loop, nested for loop. For loop inside for loop we call nested for loop, okay, to print out the value. So I loop through number of column. I loop through row and column as always, but this time number of row is equal to the number of column of the original matrix. Okay, that's why it's ori n column. Okay, and here is ori n row, and they say cell equal to outmat ij. Cell something plus I, something plus j equal to out matrix ij. This something is just to offset so that the value that you print out doesn't stay on top of the input value. Okay, it looks like this. So B1 I say 4. B2 I say is 7, okay, and on B5 is the top left, and I input my matrix. Yeah, that's the input matrix, and I put a gap, 2 gap, and I have output. So that's the output. Look at the output carefully. You will see that it's just a number. It's not a formula. It's not equal some function. It's just a value. Okay. Let me delete this. Then I run my program again. Oh, that's not. Okay, yeah. I click run. Value pop up. Just like that. Okay. So this case means we need to know the input for this function is the size, right? And we have to already know the location of the input matrix. But we don't always know that. Okay? Let's make it a little bit more complicated. Okay. Objective 1, part B. So O1B is same as O1A, but shorter, right? A shorter code. We do the same thing, but this time it kind of shorter code. Shorter code, look at this part. I do not calculate it and store the value. I calculate it, then I output it right away. Okay? I output it right away. Look at this underscore. In my code, I don't have underscore. But if you want to put underscore is the symbol to tell that this line is not done yet. and it's continue with the next line, just that. That's underscore in VBA. Okay, so this time I don't store the value. I said output row is input row, but we swap between ij and ji, just that. So it's swap. So basically, it's the same as part A, but part A we calculate it and store the value in the memory first, and then we print it later. But second option, we don't store the value, we print it out right away. Okay. Let's take a look at C. Show how to send and get array from a function. Okay. Get array from a function. O1C. Okay, O1C, I create matrix and then I redeem it later. I know this time I still have the input of number of row and number of column as usual. So these were the same, okay? And then I redeem it. So this part is the same. Good? Okay. Then I use nested for loop to read the value in and store it in the variable arithmetic. I use nested for loop. Okay, let's change. Hasid,
Yes, sir.
why do I use nested for loop? Why should it be for loop inside for loop to read the value from the cell?
Because our value keeps changing, so I need to.
Because it's 2D, right?
Yeah.
If it's 1D, I need one for loop. If it's 2D, then I use nested for loop. Value keep changing, yes. Okay. Next, okay. The order of the augment passing to other function must match the parameter order of the receiver function. Okay. This page is the same as you have seen. The new part start here. Look at this. So our mat equal to mat transpose. That is the name of the function. Open parenthesis, original matrix, comma, ori n row, comma, ori n column. So we pass matrix, or we pass 2D array into a function. In addition to the 2D array, we also pass the number of row and the number of column into the function. So that function knows the size. Okay. Then it does some calculation and it calculates the output matrix. Then we print the output matrix as usual. Okay. Let's take a look on what's going on with mat transpose. Mat transpose, the way I create it, I have function, name of the function which is mat transpose. This time, to allow the input as a matrix. Okay, I don't use as double. I use in mat as variant. Look at this, in mat as variant. So this is to take the input as variant or any kind of array. Okay, comma, row length or length of row as long integer, length or length of column as integer. So you take number of, so you pass matrix, right? Once you pass matrix, I have I and j, just an index, and I redeem the answer matrix. So this is to define the answer matrix. Take a look at this part carefully. Okay, as variant is used as a type of the function name. So we take variant in and we return variant as an output. Okay, so that's why I have as variant at the end. If you have as double, it returns just one value. If you have as variant, then it returns array or 2D array. Okay. Before I can return it, I have to create the package for me to return it. I have to create my product, right? So as ANS mat is the answer matrix that used to create the answer output. So I redeem it to be 1 to column length and 1 to row length as double. And then I switch between ij and ji over here. So that is my answer matrix, right? Matrix transpose is the change between I and j, correct? Switch between I and j, that's matrix transpose. Then, okay, this line, mat transpose, which is the name of the function, equal to answer mat. That is to return matrix to the calling function or to the calling subroutine. So I call the function, that function from this subroutine. Okay? By calling this, what I will get is to the array, which is my answer map. Anything that is in black, you see, it's just a name. It can be something else. Okay? Anything that is in blue is a syntax. You have to use it like that. Alright? So this is to create function to take something as a variant or to the array and return to the array to the calling subroutine. Good? No question or big question. Can you? I don't have homework for you yet, as promised. Homework will come later, but would you like to practice? This kind of thing takes some time to memorize and practice. Okay? Alright, next one. Convert VBA to OpenOffice. Maybe some of you don't like OpenOffice, okay? But it's the same. So I convert it by put option VBA support 1. Just that. Okay? And then it works.
Can you go to the previous slide? Sorry for that.
Right.
Yeah, so for this variant, it's the same thing which is we have to do with the double. But just in case of the matrix, we use variant.
Yes. Just in case of the matrix. Without going into much computer science, we just say, okay, variant is array. Anything that is like, when you create it with open and close parentheses, when you create it like this, open and close parentheses, or you redeem it, that's kind of array, okay? Either 1D or 2D or 3D or 4D, it doesn't matter, yes?
But for answer we use as a double. Why? We could have used in that slide. Yeah.
Which one is that
For
one?
redeem answer mat. Redeem.
Oh, okay, look at this one. Redeem answer mat as double.
Yeah.
So that is to create output as double. So let me debug it to show you what actually happened. Or maybe it's still this one. I click play. And let me delete this one first. I click play, okay, and I put the breakpoint over there. I stop there. Press F2. Step into F8. It go into this function. View local window. Maybe too small. I'm sorry about that. You see the inmat over there. We said it's variant, right? And if you look at the type over here of inmat, it's a variant / double. So it's double, but it's not just one double, it's several double put together. So that is variant with subtype of double. And next step. Answer mat right now is just double. You may not see, but I read it for you. That word is just double. Answer mat just double. When I run it, when I run redeem, it becomes double 127, okay, and 124. I go through the for loop. Once I finish, that variant can take double. It's not quite variant, it's variant slash double. It's a bunch of double together as an array. That's what we use to send up, send back. I press F8 again, then it sends outmat here. So you may think about it like the way to send and receive. How do we tell function that we are going to send and we're going to receive the array? For this syntax, we use a keyword variant. Okay, I know that there's more into that, but I don't go into that much detail. Okay, but the point here is you can send and receive array. Good.
So what if instead of receive you just use in like we used before?
No, try and tell me. I think I tried before and something doesn't work, so I use that. Please try more by yourself and tell me what you get, okay? Okay, so I add VBA support 1 and change dim and add dim before redim when I do in OpenOffice and then it works. So I just add that line. The rest, they're the same. So if you use the free version, everything else is the same. Then I can send the matrix back and forth. Okay, now I want to do something that can do the same thing as Excel function. In Excel function, I don't need to tell the size, right? I don't need to tell where I created. It just make it automatically. And when I run it, I press F2, Control Shift, Enter. How do I do that? Can I do that? Yes, I can. Okay, look at this. So this one, we run it from worksheet with F2, Control Shift, Enter. Exactly like VBA function. Okay. I call it my mtrans, my matrix transpose. So input inmat as variant and output as variant. Okay, that's function. I define everything. Okay, now it's kind of more like syntax. Okay, look at this part. Column length of column. I put inmat dot columns dot count. So I use method of this inmat object. Okay, to find out how many columns that is in the input. So this time, when you debug the program, it will seem like there's a lot more. Let's take a look. So that's how I run it. Okay, I get the transpose, but I want to show you what exactly happened when I press enter. I put a breakpoint over there. I press enter when I call the function. When you look at this, okay, let's open the local window. I look at inmat. Now you see, inmat, I don't think you can read, but in the inmat, it's not just double or variant slash double and just 6, 7 of them. There's a lot in that. A lot means what? You said column width, comment, count, current array. There's like font size, font face, background color, font color, a lot more. Okay, so when you send inmat object, it's not just number, it's everything from that cell. So I call dot column dot count to count how many columns. So this way I don't have to input the number of columns manually. It reads automatically. Okay. and it tells column length, and then I switch, and then output done. So this way we can have input as the object and input as the array and output as array and run from Excel sheet too. Same as other Excel sheet function. Good. So now we can communicate between subroutine and function and workbook and function. I think we're done.
But here we haven't defined any matrix, right? Like,
No, we don't. Take a look. Maybe more closely. Okay. But this is right. We didn't define any matrix. What is actually happening? So when we read it in, we say, okay, how many columns? We find out how many rows. Oh, okay. I think we have a little bit of matrix over here. Redeem, answer, mat. Oh, I have matrix. I have redeem, answer, mat. So that is output matrix that I prepare to output. And at the end, from my function, I say my m time equal to answer mat. Okay. And answer mat is the answer matrix. Is a matrix. It's created by switch between I and j of input matrix. Good. We actually have matrix. So this is output example, the input and function call. Kevin, don't sleep. Okay. For OpenOffice, we just do Shift Control Enter. We don't need F2. Okay, just a little bit different. All right. So for OpenOffice, I have to add one more line or something. More program practice to fully appreciate and understand how to do VBA programming, perform matrix multiplication with and without using mmouse in VBA. Okay, so we should be able to do matrix multiplication subroutine. I think I show you how to use range and use mmouse function. How to use that function inside the program. Use U-bar, L-bar. I think up to this point, you actually should be able to read the code, okay? Because everything else is already explained. You should be able to read the code and you should be able to do matrix multiplication. Can you do matrix multiplication? Manually, use a for loop? Maybe. Okay, matrix multiplication. My m mouse, you see this one. This is matrix multiplication. Everything here on the top is just declaration, okay? Same. And I have for loop to read input value, just that. This for loop is to read the input value. The different part is mat2 equal to range d4 double quotation mark d4 colon f5. So this means it takes value. I don't need double for loop to read the value. I can specify the range in the workbook and get the value directly. So I say it's between D4 and F5. That's matrix 2. And I'm going to do matrix multiplication. So now you have seen the first method is to read cell by cell. Put one value from the cell into matrix, one cell at a time, right? The second method is just use range and get the whole thing and put in matrix. So when you use range, mat2, you have to define as variant. Okay, define it as variant. All right. Then matrix multiplication. To do matrix multiplication, I have row dot product between row and column, row and column, row and column, right? So I have to do summation. Okay, summation is, we talked about it already. 0, sum equal to 0, and then go through each component, and sum equal to sum plus something. So this line is for matrix multiplication. If you remember formula, matrix multiplication, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, multiplied by 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 2 by 2 multiplied by 2 by 2, I get 2 by 2, right? The top left will be, what is the top left? What multiplied by what and what multiplied by what? So it's 1 multiplied by 7, right? Plus 2 multiplied by 9. That is that part. Second one, it will be 1 with 1. 1, 2 with 8, 10. Correct? Okay. So to translate what you think into the code, it's just one line. It is that one. So you have 3 nested for loop. The output I and j. So when we say we move, we have I, j, and k. So I is for row, j is for column of the output. Okay. Output row, output column. That's what it is. That's the first two. And then k from 1 to 2. That is the summation. Okay. So you remember you do 1 multiplied by 7 plus 2 multiplied by what, 9 something? So it is from here. So basically you do the summation of matrix, the component ik multiplied by kj. So the answer output, the output matrix will be ik and kj. Okay. This part is for multiplication. And the rest, this part is for matrix printing. We don't go full in detail for this part. It's leave for more homework. So for as a homework, that comes next time. So you will have to go through my code and try to understand by yourself based on what you learn. So we have matrix multiplication example here, mount method, and matrix that have I call it auto function my mount. So this time I use mount method from workbook function directly. Okay. So try to go through it. I think next time we will talk about this a little bit and maybe do some quiz or maybe not. I think it's quite likely, okay? And that's about it for today. Okay, a little bit more. Make sure that when you go home, you try and you'll be able to do quiz next time. Install Python too. Next time we will do more Python. Good? Have a good time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.